Well, Halloween doesn't have to be scary for parents. We've got a few tips to keep their little superheroes, goblins, and princesses nice and safe. Kate Carr, President and CEO of Safe Kids Worldwide, joins us today from Washington, D.C. Good morning, Kate. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Nikki.
Well, I want to mention to our viewers that Safe Kids Worldwide has released some alarming new statistics that parents really need to be aware of. Let me go through those before we get to any questions. First of all, as many kids are killed walking on Halloween than any other day, which is really a scary thought. Only 1/3 of parents talk to their kids about Halloween safety, and nearly half of parents allow their children to wear unsafe items, and children 5 years and younger are allowed to trick-or-treat by themselves. So how old is old enough for kids to go trick-or-treating without that adult supervision, Kate?
Well, that's a great question. As a parent, I would say that if your child is out, if my child is out trick-or-treating, I want to be out there with them,
right,
no matter what their age, because they're excited. It's a fun night. They're out on the streets. I know my kids jump up and down and run all around. And you want to remind them before they go out and while they're out to be safe and be able to be seen. We want them to walk on a sidewalk if it's there, to look both ways before they cross the street, and to take care not to dart out between cars.
Absolutely. And, you know, of course, most of the trick-or-treating that's done is done in the dark. So what kind of protective gear would you suggest kids wear so that they're seen?
Well, you can look for a costume like this that has some type of reflective material on it. And that'll help when cars are coming down, that the driver will see the child in a costume and the child will see the car if they have their headlights turned on.
Oh, that's great.
If not, you can look for a little piece of reflective material, a bracelet, a zipper pull, anything, even something as simple as this, where the light will shine on the costume and kids will be seen.
See, I like those ideas because I like that idea because I think a lot of times parents worry that, you know, they want their kids safe, but the kids just don't want their costumes messed up. So a little sticker or a little bracelet, I think, is a good option.
Right, it definitely is. And there are some other tips that we can share.
Okay.
We'd like to see kids avoid wearing a mask. Here's a little sample of a mask. It looks scary,
yes,
but it's really not safe because it obstructs children's vision.
Good point.
Loose, baggy clothes are things that kids can trip on. Sharp objects that they carry are things that if they fall can hurt them. So there are a couple additional tips. You can find more of them on our website under our Halloween tip sheet for parents, and that's safekids.org.
Fabulous. And I also want to ask you another question because I know a lot of times the parents worry about the actual treats that are given to those kids. So how can a parent check treats for the tampering that could be possibly done?
Well, the incidence of tampering is relatively low, but
Okay.
it doesn't mean it's non-existent. So every parent needs to, at the end of the evening, take a look at all those treats kids come home with. And if there's any evidence of tampering, make sure that that one gets tossed out right away. So it's a reminder, another reminder to your child not to eat anything before they get home, and for parents to take a close look at everything that comes home with their child.
Yes, I remember when I was a kid, my mom always used to say if there was even a slight rip in the wrapping of the candy, if there was even a slight opening, or if there was something like an apple or something that was given to us that wasn't originally wrapped, that was one of the main things my mom used to say, don't touch it. Would you agree with that?
That's good messaging. That's, absolutely. She's a good mom.
Well, you know, before the kids go on the streets, I know you said one of the things is you want to mention things like looking both ways when they cross the street. What other advice would you give parents to give their kids before they hit the streets?
Well, before they're out there, you want to remind them about all kinds of the safety things about walking on a sidewalk, looking out for cars, wearing reflective materials, being careful with costumes. You know, a lot of people put candles in their pumpkins, so you don't want baggy clothes bumping into a candle accidentally. All of these things are important tips. And again, as I said, they're all summarized on a quick tip sheet for you on our website. It's a fun night. We want kids to have fun, but we want them to be safe.
Absolutely. I mean, and kids are all over the place on Halloween. They don't, you know, they're just excited, like you said. They want to have a good time. And you don't want to scare them too much, but yet you still want to be able to give them the right advice so that they can stay safe. And a lot of times we've got oncoming cars. The kids are running across the road. What should the drivers be aware of when the visibility is poor?
There are three things I'd like to remind drivers to do.
Okay.
One, turn on your lights nice and early because more kids are going to be out on the streets on Halloween, so make sure they can see your car and you can see them. So turn on your lights, make sure you put down that cell phone. Distracted drivers just increase the risk for kids, and drive slowly. Expect that kids are going to be out, that they'll be excited, and that they can jump out when you least expect them and be able to. A driver needs to be able to stop their car if necessary in a big hurry.
Such good advice. Now, I have one more question for you. This is kind of, this is really just a personal question, like personal advice you would give. You know, what hours would you recommend are the best hours for trick-or-treating? I always wonder that myself, and I just don't never know what's the best time to be out and about. And what would you say would be the latest you should be out and about?
You know, I think it varies from community to community because especially now with a lot of people working, people may not be home if you wanted to start at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. But if you can start before it gets dark, that's a great thing. And if you are going out with your child after dark or your child's trick-or-treating, one, make sure they're accompanied by an adult. Join them, take a flashlight, have reflective material on as many kids as you can put it on, and just take the steps to be as safe as you can. In your community, some communities will have a type of Halloween party that may start in the middle of the day or be held on a weekend before Halloween. That's a great safe practice. But there's not enough consistency to give you one tell-all answer.
Okay.
I wish there was.
But no, but I think that what you said is perfect, and it makes a lot of sense. And one more time before we go, could you remind everybody where they can go for more of those great tips?
Sure. Our website is safekids.org, and you can find lots of information, not only on Halloween, but lots of other safety information for parents and for kids.
Fantastic. Kate, thank you so much. Such helpful information. We want everybody to have a great Halloween. We want them to have a good time. We don't want them to be scared, but we do want them to be safe above all else. So thank you so much for all of your great advice.
Thank you.
And you have a happy Halloween yourself.
Same to you.
And still ahead, the November issue of Albuquerque the Magazine. All here it is at Hit Stands this week. We will give you your sneak peek.